The Death of Aang is something fans have wondered about for many years now. With almost all of the original cast being in The Legend of Korra, it made things kind of confusing. After all, they were pretty much all older than Aang, if not the exact same age. And Aang is one of, if not the strongest avatar, so it doesn't make sense for somebody to be able to kill him. Eventually, the original creators dropped some lore on what happened and how Aang died, and this comic incorporates some of that lore that they dropped and added some of their own. All credit for this comic goes to the Rising Fist on YouTube. The link will be in the description down below as always, but it starts off like this. Aang needs help and he doesn't know what to do and nobody can help him. So the only person he thinks that could possibly help him out is Avatar Roku. Immediately, Avatar Roku knows that something is wrong with Aang. He's never seen him like this before. Aang tells Roku that his bending and spiritual connection has been growing weaker and weaker throughout the years. He's been to all the best healers in the world, but nobody can help him. It's gotten so bad to the point where he can't even call upon his past lives anymore. In order to even call Roku, some spirits had to lead him to one of the most spiritual parts in the Avatar world. Aang tells Roku that he can sense he's dying, but he doesn't know why. He's still young, and he hasn't accomplished anything that he's wanted to do as the Avatar. Roku ends up telling Aang that he's sorry this is happening, but he also knows the reason why. Aang spent 100 years in the iceberg. No one other than the Avatar could have possibly survived this, and it put a massive strain on his body. Aang was in the Avatar state for a constant 100 years, and it drained most of his life energy. That is why he's dying 100 years earlier than he should have. Roku is truly sorry this is happening, but he ends up comforting Aang by telling him in his short life he's accomplished more than most avatars have in several lifetimes. I really like this touch. Aang stopped a war, made peace with a historically violent nation, he started reviving the Air Nation, and made an entire city where all nations can live together. This is just what we know about Aang so far. With Avatar Studios coming in and expanding the Avatar universe, we can expect Aang to accomplish much more. After speaking with Roku, Aang ends up breaking the news to Zuko. Aang tells Zuko that he wants to keep the next Avatar safe until their Avatar training is complete. Aang wants the next Avatar to be mature and not put the world in danger with juvenile decisions. He tells Zuko that the next Avatar must be there, like he should have been. Zuko promises Aang that the next Avatar will be kept safe, and they will be ready to continue where Aang left off. And the four nations will do everything in their power to maintain balance until the next Avatar can take over. Aang tells Zuko that he trusts him, and he's proven to be a fine leader. Zuko says to Aang it's time. You have more important stuff to do, and that Katara is waiting for you. They hug it out one last time, and Zuko tells Aang that he's gonna see him in his next life. Before Aang says goodbye to Katara, he stops by to talk to Appa, and he tells him that he's been his best friend, and he doesn't know what he would have done without him. During this conversation, Katara actually walks up to them and asked if he found what he was looking for. Aang tells her that he found the answers that he was looking for, but not the solutions. Katara realizes what Aang means by this, and she tries to convince him to go to more healing sessions, but Aang tells her this cannot be stopped. Katara starts crying and tells him that we can't just give up, and he has so much more to live for. Aang says you're right, but the next Avatar will live on in another life. He goes on to say, but this one was my life, and it's the one I shared with you. He starts remembering about all the good times that they spent together, but suddenly Aang starts to glow and he enters the Avatar state. Aang is dying in this moment. The light spirit is trying to leave his body, but he's able to get out some final words. He tells Katara that if he was there for the world 100 years ago, he would have never been able to spend a life with the only woman he's ever loved. Aang passes on, and you can see the light spirit Rava leaving his body. Katara and Appa are crying, and they thank him for everything he's done. And this story ends off with Katara meeting Aang again, but in another life.